morning, YouTube, or afternoon, or evening, or whenever you should happen to watch this. Coming to you today fucking pissed. I've had the discussion with other people. How many fucked up things are happening in our world right now? A few too many, I think. Sure, most would agree. What's got me all pissed off recently is this healthcare bill that these people insist on ramming down our throats. I'm not going to post the link, but if you'll go to opencongress.org, you can look at the bill. You can see that the national support is 23% in favor, and they are still going to attempt to ram this goddamn thing down our throat. One of the last little pieces it takes to finish this country off. I don't know if Michelle Bachmann is telling the truth when she says that the government will now own 48% of private industry once this healthcare bill is in place. But I got every reason to believe that's probably about true. George Bush privatized ungodly amounts of the government to contractors so people like Dick Cheney could make lots of money. And Barack Obama is simply taking it all over. But of course it's not him. It's not really the Congress or the Senate. They're just the figureheads doing the dirty work. But nonetheless, consider healthcare passing the end of the United States as we've always known it, although since we've pretty well lost our freedom of speech here, I suppose what fucking difference does it make? However, that's not why I came to you to talk today. I'm just really fucking pissed about the healthcare bill. Any of you that have been in the military, thank God there's a lot of you out there that I talk with. Fuck if I'd keep my sanity amongst a bunch of people that don't really get the bigger picture. You all know how great government healthcare is. I broke my fucking wrist 6 weeks ago. You think I went to the VA to get it fixed? No. Hell no. Why am I going to go back and forth to the VA and waste 10 hours to come out with a bag of Motrin and told that I'm just fine? Because that's what government healthcare is. They will let you can be broken and fucked up and they will not check you out for a year. They'll just tell you you're whining about it. That's government healthcare. You're also going to pay about probably triple. You're going to be required to pay it too. You're going to be required to take a vaccine annually, whatever the government determines you need if you want health care. Of course, if you don't want your vaccine and you don't have health care, you've got to pay a heavy fine. Go to jail if you don't pay your heavy fine. Let's get to the point though. Fuck health care for a second. As far as I'm concerned, all this is a giant distraction. Let's go to the story of Joseph Moshe briefly. Or Joseph Moshe. I'm not even sure how it's pronounced. Some of you may know this story. Some of you may not. The story is pretty simple. Allegedly, a man that was a little off his rocker in California threatened the White House via email with a bombing. And he was taken down by local police. They gassed the shit out of his car, and it took an 8-hour standoff for them to get him out of his car. And then the story disappeared. There's conflicting reports about what actually happened with that man. Now, if you look at the other side of the story, Joseph Moshe was an Israeli Mossad biochemist, which would fully explain why he was able to sit in his car and take round after round of gas canisters and not flinch. However, as that alternative story goes, he sent an email to the White House claiming that he knew that Baxter International was producing a deadly vaccine in the Ukraine. And that deadly vaccine was going to be turned loose on the public. Because obviously the swine flu is fucking harmless. Not only did he go to the White House with it, he went to Dr. Bill Deagle and a couple other alternative media hosts, and they shared his story. Now, if you're keeping up with what's going on, you've already heard about what's happened in the Ukraine. The Ukraine, which had, God only knows, from what I've read, they had between 2 and 7 confirmed cases of swine flu as of last Friday, October 30th. Today is November 4th. On November 2nd, they reported 22 dead from a new strain of something, and 180,000 to 250,000 sick in a matter of 4 days. By yesterday, they reported 70 deaths. And if you look around at all the articles, all the initial reports claim it's a new strain of viral pneumonia. Now the World Health Organization is involved, and they have said, and all the links are posted in the sidebar, they have said, well, we should just assume it's H1N1. It's swine flu. It must be, because that's the predominant strain. And what an interesting coincidence that happened to break out in the fucking Ukraine. What an interesting coincidence that is. Healthcare be damned. I'm not getting any direct information from anybody that I know in Iraq, nor would I find it very likely to. But another soldier that I know has told me he has had contact with people in Iraq over Skype. And in 2 weeks' time, elements from the 82nd Airborne Division, from the 2nd Infantry Division, and from 4 separate National Guard units will be coming home to police the streets. I'm sorry, today's the 4th of November. In about 1 week's time, they're scheduled to come home. Anybody that knows the troop movement knows that it's all fucked up. There's no telling when they're actually going to get here. The report is they're going to come home and do civilian contingency program training. Take a wild guess what that means. They're not happy about having to come home and do it. From his report, the guys from the 2nd ID are especially pissed that they have to come home and do the National Guard's job. And remember, with this stuff with the military, I didn't get this directly, so consider it rumor and conjecture. I'm simply sharing what I've heard. Furthermore, he's gone on to report from one of these people that Virginia, Washington, D.C., and New York will be locked down because of something that's going to happen. Now, rest assured, if this thing spread through the Ukraine that fast, how fast do you think it's going to spread through the rest of the world? Another week or so sounds about like a good timeline to start locking things down. Now, granted, this stuff about Joseph Moshe is conjectural, but it's starting to look like it's just the damn truth. These stories about soldiers coming home, I'm going to regard as possibility until I hear certain fact from somebody I know over there, and I haven't got a damn word from them. So everybody, I'd say it's about time to start locking and loading and getting ready for it. As it looks, it won't be very long now. I'd like to add one little bit. 2 great people, one of being Bill Cooper, another being Gerald Salenti. Both these men spoke of some of this stuff. Bill Cooper, back in the day, listed a whole variety of things that the New World Order might attempt to use to bring about a New World Order. And so far, the only 2 things that he listed that have not happened yet is a nuclear detonation and contact with ET. Those are the 2 things that haven't happened yet that Bill Cooper said. Gerald Salenti has said the stronger the resistance is against this thing, the harder they're going to crack down. So, to those of you speaking out, to those of you that are going out to the protest, all of that, the resistance must be pretty damned heavy right now, because they are cracking down hard. So for that one thing, be proud of yourself. But on the same note, you'd better man up, because they are about to crack down like you've never seen if this shit really starts to happen. As I always say, stay calm, but don't let that staying calm prevent you from getting justifiably pissed off when this shit hits the fan. I'd like to add one final piece to what I've been saying. If I offended anybody today with this little video, call whoever you think you need to call and report a hate crime. And let me assure you, I've got something for them. Live free or die. And I hope to God that the rest of you are prepared for exactly that.